Hello, let's talk about stats. Let's talk about book stats. Let's have a look through my 2023 StoryGraph stats. I've actually been playing around on StoryGraph this morning to make sure everything has a star rating, and they're struggling. Cloudflare warnings keep coming up all the time, but we will persevere. So let's go in and have a look at my stats. So what I thought we might do is I will look at the overall pretty generated stats wrap up that they do, and then we might have a deep dive into the rest of the books if it's needed. Let's have a look. Your 2023 reading wrap up. So many of my friends have been posting this on Discord and Instagram, and I've been waiting so excitedly to get a look at this because it's just your 2023 reading wrap up. Congratulations on a great reading year. You read 66 books across 19,612 pages and 160.8 hours. My reading goal was 52. It's usually 52 because there's 52 weeks in a year. Last year, I think I read 67 books. I'm not mad that it's less. Who cares? Reading's reading. I think I had a page goal of 20,000 and it's a bit under, and a reading hours goal of 200, which I think I just guessed at because I don't know how long things are and the accumulation of all that time. But I do know that last year I didn't listen to many audiobooks, so 160 is still a lot. Right. First book of the year was The Development of the Sonnet, an introduction by Michael R.G. Spiller. That was a book that I read for a uni subject about, guess, sonnets. And I just read the whole thing. Obviously, well, maybe not obviously, when you're at university, you do not have to read every book cover to cover when it's like an information book like this one. But this one was interesting. I didn't know much about sonnets before. I had to write an essay, I think, about sonnets. So it was just really handy to read the whole thing. My last book was The Fisherman, which was recommended to me on Discord, and I think I spoke about that in my December haul video, and my next reading video will have the review of that one. The Fisherman, a horror novel, which is not something I usually do. My mood map, I started off lighthearted and we got a bit dark through winter, and then it pushed up again in December. I say I don't like lighthearted books, but I do like, some. I embarked on exciting adventures, pondered thought-provoking themes, and delved into dark and intense narratives. I wonder what they were. Most of my stories develop at a steady pace. That's what I like. I like to know where I'm going. Oh, look at this, minutes list and nothing in September, and then way up. That was Middlemarch, I'm sure. Yeah, my audio listening has been quite inconsistent this year because I used to always listen to a book when I was walking, and now my husband likes to walk with me and tell me about Lit RPG, so I don't get my listening time anymore. Books read and pages read. That one is I was no, I'm on holiday in August. September's really high. Interesting. Met my reading goal. Woot. Science fiction at 17, the genre I spent the most time with. That is fascinating because I would consider myself a fantasy reader, but I have really tried to science fiction this year, and actually a lot of those are short stories. You okay, Mew? I've got my cat here. She's scared of the street sweeper. You okay? It's just sweeping up the leaves. We're making a video about books. You like books, you have to walk on them. You cool now? It's gone now. Okay, love you, bye. 17 with science fiction. 16 with fantasy, that tracks. 11 with literary. What counts as literary? It's unfamiliar genre to me. Historical 10. LGBTQIA plus themes. 8. That's not something I've been seeking out. It's just in books now and I love to see it. The Lord of Chaos. At 41 hours 32 minutes is my longest book. I can't tell you what happened in that. No idea. Rand did some things. The girls whinged, Nynaeve pulled her braids. The shortest book at 28 pages. Does that even count? I've counted it. Does it even count? Slow Time Between the Stars by John Scalzi, which I really enjoyed. It's an Amazon original. You can only get it on Amazon. The average length of the books you read was 337 pages and took you around 20 days to finish each book. Really? 20 days is a long time. How It Unfolds was a short story. It took me one day. How to read a book is something that I only picked up when I was waiting for my kid at the orthodontist. So it took me a long time. I spent the most time with Andrzej Sapkowski, who writes The Witcher and the Hussite trilogy, Richard Osman with the Thursday Murder Club, Robert Jordan with frickin' Rand Al Bohr. I'm going to finish them, but not today, Satan. I was part of 5 completed buddy reads. I love a buddy read, and 8% of my 2023 reading was shared with friends. So thank you, buddies. You know who you are. I had a blast. We should do it again sometime. 2023's average rating was 3.41, which tracks is probably higher than I thought. But this year I tried to be generous in my reviewing, but also I was just more in the mood for being generous. What were my 5-star reads? The Curse of Charlene, which is a reread. It's my favourite book of all time. I think I like it more than I like Persuasion. I'm pretty sure. Middlemarch, which was chef kiss. Highly recommend that you listen to that. And a reread of Leviathan Wakes by James S. A. Corey. That's the first in the Expanse series of 9 books. That was a buddy read with 2 people who hadn't read it before. And that was amazing. And I think that's going to be a whole year reread as my buddies go through all the books. Look, I can't commit to 5 stars, can I? I can definitely commit to 4, and that's where we landed. Lots of 4s, lots of 3s and 3.5s, the 3 5 stars, and a 1. Only 1 star. That's doing well for me. Some months were better than others. In December, my highest average rating was 4, but October, not so much. What did I read in October? That's interesting. And my most read pages was in September. 2,000 pages. That can't be. What? How? I really want to know what I read in September now. The most shelved was To Kill a Mockingbird. I read that as a buddy read with my kid because she had to do it for English at school. The least shelved, this does not surprise me. This was like a little, it looked self-published thing, examining The Wasteland by T.S. Eliot and the poem that Eliot wrote before that called The Love Song of J. Alfred Prufrock. The highest rated was This Is the Noise That Keeps Me Awake by Garbage. I didn't rate it that high, obviously. I explored 39 new authors, including T. Kingfisher, which was Nettle and Bone. Highly recommend. Liz Williams, who wrote Miracles of Our Own Making, which is a history of paganism in Britain, which was great. And Mortimer J. Adler, which I will never read again. That was How to Read a Book. 33 of the books you read were part of a series, yeah. I reread 7. A DNF 3. Really? Oh, I can click that and find out what that is. I don't remember. I remember this DNF, The Witch and the Tsar. I was just not in the mood. Oh yeah, The Echo of Old Books I hated. I hated it so much. It's still on my shelf. Just because I have not managed to take it to donate yet. And Ulysses was just making me sad every time I saw it in my currently reading. So I marked it as DNF. Maybe 2024 is the year. Maybe. I read 53 books from your own shelves this year. That does not surprise me. I tend to read the books that I've bought. I don't have good library access. If I read 66 books and 53 StoryGraph reckons I owned, I've stuffed up on the data there because that's not true. I completed 1 reading challenge, and that was Kelly's at Curatorially Yours' Dewey Decimal reading challenge. Oh, and then we get the plus stats compared to last year. I read 1% fewer books, 10% fewer pages, 24% fewer hours. Yep. Compared to my friends, you read more lighthearted stuff than me, clearly. But look, that's pretty even across the whole of the year, and I definitely dipped. We hang out in adventurous, challenging, dark, tense, mysterious places. Then we go down to informative, reflective, emotional, sad, inspiring, hopeful, funny, lighthearted, all in the bottom. That's not me, that's not who I am. I like a medium-paced book apparently. My genres were politics, feminism, and this is my highest rated reads. Politics, feminism, horror, character-driven, lovable, flawed, diverse characters. That is who I like. Definitely emotional, dark, funny. That's got to be how you would describe Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead, which is probably my favourite of the year, even though I didn't give it 5 stars. And then this is all the books that we read this year. I'm just going to slowly scroll through here. What have we got? Treacle Walker. It was so weird. I did not understand it. I still think about how weird it was. Nettle and Bone was great. What else have we got here? Permanent was a buddy read. The Bookbinder of Jericho was lovely. Persuasion was a comfort reread. Just Out of Jupiter's Reach, Nettie Okorafor. I hated it. Marjorie Kemp, she's definitely a character. That's probably the oldest book that I read this year. This one, China Mountain Zhang, was a surprise, enjoyable read. It was a book club one, and I didn't think I would like it, and I really did. I still think about it. The Mimicking of Known Successes, absolutely no. That was probably the thing that I rated 1. Heading down, yeah. Good reading year overall. Should we go into the stats? Okay, so we talked about all this. We talked about moods and pace. This is interesting. All these genres down the bottom that I have read a single book. Music, philosophy, play. That's true. I read The Pygmalion. Psychology, religion, self-help, thriller, YA. Do you think that was Trust of the Emerald Sea? Magical realism, I'm not a fan of. Interesting. 7 classics. What are you counting as a classic? And how did I read 7 of them? Let me in. I clicked it too many times. And their server is struggling today. Aha. Classic. So Book of Marjorie Kemp. I guess that is a classic, yes. Persuasion. Left Hand of Darkness. Aha. That makes sense. I had not considered that Pygmalion or Left Hand of Darkness or the Book of Marjorie Kemp would be classics. There you go. Alright, these tags, these are my personal tags that I've added to books. So 7 buddy reads. 6 of the books I read were for my Sword and Laser book club. 4 for my Gumption book club. 3 for uni. And then these are Dewey Decimal numbers. So 3 in the 800s, 2 in the 200s. I had 2 books I borrowed from the library. And then these are all 1 in those Dewey Decimals. I read more digital than print this year. That's interesting. I'm really trying to read print if I can. And then I'm not surprised about these. We talked about these top authors already. Adrian Tchaikovsky, Robert Jordan, Richard Osman. Yeah. We looked at those already. So there we go. There's my stats. I'm going to share my sexy little graphics that I've seen people sharing on Instagram and stuff like that, which is exciting. And thank you for hanging out with me during this year of reading. If you track your reading, or even if you don't track your reading, let me know in the comments what was your favorite read of 2024, because even though I rated 5 stars to The Curse of Charlie in Middlemarch and Leviathan Wakes, my favourite of the year still was Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead, which was a birthday present that I got for my birthday in March, and that was by Olga Tokarczuk, which I did finally look up how to pronounce. So leave me your favourite read in the comments below, because I would love to hear it.